Hey YouTube, it's Nate from HB Outdoors. Just want to do a quick video on my new shop that I got going here. We moved about 4 months ago, and I went from a very small garage wood shop to this 2-car garage that I got now. And we've been here probably about 6 months, and my wood shop has been just a complete disaster. I moved everything in, got it set up the best I could, but I was trying to, fill orders and all that stuff at the same time without organizing anything, and it became where I couldn't even see the floor in here anymore. And I noticed on a lot of the Facebook pages that I'm on, a lot of the guys that have smaller wood shops have been asking, how to set it up, what's the best way to run a small wood shop, and things like that. So I figured I'd take an opportunity here, since I kind of spent the last 2 days cleaning my shop, Saturday and a Sunday on my off days, to get this shop kind of organized and ready to go. I figured I'd take this time to make a little video and show you guys what I've got going on, and give you a little bit of tips maybe on how to set up a small wood shop and make it work properly. And I know some of the guys that they have these small workshops are working in like tiny little buildings that are like 10 by 10, stuff like that. But you guys have probably already figured out keeping it clean and putting things back where you got them. That is a huge issue. That's like the main thing you've got to do. If you get a tool out, you use it, put it back when you're done with it. Make sure at the end of the day you clean up. That's a big issue that I have, because I also work a full-time job as well. So I'm down here trying to do these orders, and I'll set a little bit of a time aside to where I can come down and do some work, but I never set time aside to actually clean the shop when I'm done. So make sure you're setting that time aside. I want to come down and work for 2 hours and then spend 45 minutes cleaning up, or however much it is. Make sure you put everything away, vacuum, sweep up, clean your tools off. That way all your tabletops aren't piled up. I'm going to post some pictures during this video of the way my shop looked before, and then I'm going to show you guys now how it looked after. And you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about here. So this is my new shop. I actually made this little chalkboard here for my orders so I can keep them organized and things I need to do. No shop's complete without a beer fridge. Gotta have a beer fridge in there. I've got a little locker down there. One of my first workbenches, I got my vise there, a little toolbox that just has a bunch of junk in it right now. Another little locker that has screws and bolts and grease rags and stuff in it, and some books up top. Speaker system. Every good shop has to have a radio in it. And actually, while I was cleaning, I probably found 15,000 tape measures. So each one of my tools has a tape measure set out by it now. So hopefully I'll never lose any of them. There's my radial arm saw, nice and clean now. It was piled up almost to the top of the saw with stuff like scrap wood and junk like that earlier. And over here, I got my Shopsmith set up in the drill press mode right now. There's another tape measure for it, and nice and cleaned up. My spindle sander is just sitting right there. I still need to build a table for that, which I'm going to do here in the next week or two. I'm going to build a sanding station just for everything. And if you look right here, sun's kind of making it hard to see, but this is a table that I built probably 8 months ago over at the old house, because I didn't have a whole lot of space over there. So I tried to make the most of the space that I did have. So I built this table. It's got my chop saw on it, my planer, and my bench grinder, and then as well as a little bit of storage down at the bottom for my circular saw. I think I got router bits down there, Forstner bits, some more chisels, stuff like that, my router, my sander, and my handheld grinder and all that stuff. And that's one of the biggest things with working in a small shop. You got to design it around what actually works for you, how much space you actually have. If you think about it, sit down, take some time, draw up how you want the layout to be. You can find ways to build tables and stuff. Maybe you build tables that close in and fold up from the wall down when you're not using them, stuff like that. And you just make it work for you. Everything I got's on casters, that way it's easy to move around. Got this little storage plastic station over here that was with the house when we bought it. I'm probably going to get rid of that. It's just got a bunch of junk sitting on it right now from where I was cleaning up. And that shelf right there I ended up taking down. That's got to go to the fire pit. and that was on the wall over here, where I put these bins, these nice little storage bins. You know, you can put screws in those, whatever you want. I've got screws and brushes, stuff like that. Some grease rags, tool belt hanging on that one up there. Then I've got my toolbox. It's actually currently piled up with all the wood that came from every single one of these. My bandsaw, my table saw, that, and my radio alarm saw. All I had wood stacked, you know, just scraps here and there. Stacked all the way to the top where I couldn't even see the work surfaces on them. That's all over here now, stacked up on my toolbox, which was actually also stacked about that high with junk here and there. All that scrap wood eventually is going to end up going over here. As you can see, I got these super sweet shelves that somebody had built in the house before we bought it, and they're garbage. So I'm going to rip all that down. That's going to be my wood storage, and maybe build a little workbench on the bottom of it or something like that. So I got my table saw here. It's set up so I've got 8 foot of space that way, as well as 8 foot of space off of it this way. So, you know, I can run a full board through it if I need to, stuff like that, without having to move it at all. That little deep sink there, that's going to the garbage. And this little table that I got, this is going to be my build station / sanding station. And it was a table that was with the house when we bought it. It's actually got like a little essential oil stand that I'm building for a customer right now on it. And, you know, I just clamp my clamps around the edge of it just to kind of keep them organized. Got my glue sitting there and my my bench cookies, and that'll work good, you know, just to keep one little area for assembly and sanding out of the way over here. So yeah, that's, you know, this is my shop. It's not great, you know. I'm not a professional woodworker by any means. I do it part-time, and I enjoy it though. It's fun. So definitely going to be doing another video once I get all this wood organized and all this stuff, all these shelves torn down over here and organized, so this thing is an entire wood shop. But if you guys got any questions, you know, on how to possibly set up your shops or working in a little small confined space, I may be able to help you out. And if not, I've got a few buddies that work in very, very tiny wood shops at the moment, and I could probably find the answer for you from them. So be sure to like this video and subscribe and share us with your friends. Help us grow. Maybe we can eventually quit this full-time job that I work and just woodwork full-time. That would be awesome. Alright guys, we'll see you next time.